Weather now to hot issues. The guilty verdict for George Zimmerman over the weekend. Saturday's verdict is still sparking protests around the country. Vigils in some 100 cities are now being planned for Saturday. And there were calls for a civil trial and even federal charges to be brought against the former Neighborhood Watch volunteer. Steve Shanavy's in our newsroom tonight with the latest on this emotional case. Steve?
Yeah, Leon, and on the potential now for federal charges, President Obama says he is not going to get involved in that process in any Justice Department decision. However, Attorney General Eric Holder called the shooting tragic and unnecessary, but he said the Justice Department would follow the facts of the law to decide if any federal charges will be filed. This decision actually comes in as reaction continues to pour in from all across the country.
From the streets of New York and Los Angeles to a protest in front of the Justice Department here in Washington, reaction to the verdict in the George Zimmerman case continues to be strong.
It was important to remember that we are a nation of laws and a jury had spoken.
While the White House tries to temper stirred-up emotions, the legal community, like much of America, continues to weigh if this case was about more than the letter of the law.
Many people put it in the racial context. The criminal decision was one that was based on the facts, and the jury's decision, we got to live with it.
This is far from being race. You know what I'm saying? This is just a bad situation that happened.
No justice, no peace!
That's a tough sell for many people who rallied over the weekend. Protests are planned in dozens more cities across the country next Saturday.
And what bugs America and bugs most people about this verdict is no one is taking responsibility for the death of this young man.
That could change, though, if Trayvon Martin's attorneys file a civil suit bringing either civil rights or wrongful death claims. That could finally put George Zimmerman on the stand, and that may answer some of the questions still lingering after the criminal trial.
Look for that case to be a better form in our search for the truth. We'll get to the bottom of this in that civil case.
No matter what would happen in a potential civil case, Zimmerman would not go to jail. That would only happen if he was convicted of federal charges. But he could be held financially liable, meaning if he wrote a book, for example, the proceeds could go to Trayvon Martin's family instead of Zimmerman. On a side note, one of the jurors is apparently looking to cash in, already hiring an agent to negotiate a book deal for herself. Allison?